leaders, Honorable Majority Leader, Honorable Mahama Yarga, and the Minority Leader, Honorable Alexander Kwamina Afenyo Markin. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I was advised by the clerk that normally there's really no report of leadership on the composition of the delegations. What is normally taken is just the resolution. Because I asked them a couple of days ago where the report was, and they drew my attention that normally there's no report and that they advertise the resolution and it is a resolution that is taken. So, Mr. Speaker, they are here. I mean, I recall last week asking them where the report was, and that was what they told me. So I'm even surprised that today they have advertised item number 15.
Minority Chief Whip.
Speaker, I heard the Majority Leader, but I don't think it's the case. For in times past, anytime such a motion is moved, a report is generated. I however agree with him that it's a matter that has been outstanding for a while and has to be dispensed of course, because of the implications. But I know for a fact that normally a report is taken. But Speaker, the rules, interpretation of the rules are in your hands. If it is the pleasure of the Speaker or the Chair that we should take the motion without necessarily adopting a report, I will not object to
that. Yes, Honourable Member.
Mr. Speaker, just to seek your guidance, I heard the variation of the order of business. But, Mr. Speaker, we did not take item 5, that is the correction of vote and proceedings. Yes. And I don't know whether that is also included in the variation.
I know. We'll take it. We'll take it later on. Yes, Honourable Members, is a process that is being developed because of the nature of the constitutive acts of these parliamentary networks. Before, it was done by only leadership and the Speaker. It was not even brought to the House. Later, because of the language of the acts, we decided that it be a decision of the House, not leaders and Speaker. And so it was usually submitted to the House for the House to take the decision. Going through those acts, the constitutive acts, you see that even there's a requirement for elections in some of them. Our country is not in the position to be conducting those elections. And so that has been given to the institution of Parliament to always decide those who should represent the country in those parliaments, both ECOWAS, Pan-African parliaments. And so you don't actually need to have a report in writing. In moving the motion, the attention of the House could be drawn to what engagements are taking place prior to the date of the moving of the motion. And I have myself been involved in these discussions. And you know how far we've gone. And because of a stalemate, it delayed. and those parliaments are expecting our representation, and that is not forthcoming. So please, I decided that this is an urgent matter. We should take it today. And so please, you say move the motion and give a background information to members. It's not all reports that should be in writing. And what you say is the report you are presenting from leadership. And that is why it stands in the name of both the majority and the minority leader, so that you know that we followed our African tradition and culture of decision making. We always try to build consensus. That is our culture, that is our tradition. We don't usually go by what you call majority decision. So when you meet and you don't get consensus, you adjourn to continue. And when you adjourn, behind the scenes, the usual channels of communication takes place. You lobby each other. Then you call another meeting, you go and sit down and build consensus. Because winner take all will always lead to sour grapes. Somebody will always be dissatisfied. That is what we used to do as a people, as a continent. Now, everything, majority decision, you don't build consensus, you proceed. If you can't build consensus, yes, you now put it to a vote. But that is really alien. Our people have always reached over to build consensus in whatever they do. That's why even your house, the arrangement of this house is in the horseshoe. It's for us to build in consensus. It's not government and opposition. So please, you can move the motion, and whatever you say becomes a report from the leadership. The minority will also add a voice, and then we can resolve. Because in the taking the decision in this matter, it has to be in the form of a resolution. And that is why it's so captured. So may we proceed, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, on that note, I move that this Honourable House adopts the report of leadership on the composition of the membership of the Pan-African Parliament. Mr. Speaker, as you know, we've had extensive deliberations on this matter, and the clerk has been under enormous pressure from the Pan-African Parliament to have Ghana send our delegation. I am told by some members of the delegation that indeed it is time to elect the leadership of the Parliament. And Ghana is in a position to be able to take some key positions as chair of some strategic committees of the Pan-African Parliament. But our absence is endangering our chances of being able to take the chair of these committees. And so I urge this House that we should adopt the report of leadership on the matter. Mr. Speaker, I recall that after the deliberations, we concluded on a list, and that list is made up of one Honorable Bernard Ahiafo, who is the first Deputy Speaker as leader of the delegation, Honorable Roxanne Nelson Eche Kwame Diafemepo as the Chief Whip member of the delegation, then Honorable Collins Dauda, who has always been a member of that delegation, to remain as a member of the delegation. We added Honorable Zaneto Ajiman Rollins as a member of the delegation, and for the minority side, we have Honorable Frank Ano Dompre, the Minority Chief Whip, and we have an observer member, and that is Honorable Patrick Yao Boama as an observer. Mr. Speaker, the status of observer is something that you yourself introduced and authorized as a mechanism for resolving this long-drawn dispute about the composition of the membership. So, Mr. Speaker, this is the membership that we are proposing as leaders. It's been the subject of a lot of dispute and etc. But, you know, as the lawyers will say, litigation must come to an end at some point, and Ghana must send a delegation to the Pan-African Parliament. And so I urge colleagues to allow us to adopt this report of leaders and take the resolution so that we can have our representation at the Pan-African Parliament. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move.
Yes. Minority Chief Whip.
Speaker, I rise to second the motion moved by the Leader of the House and to make a few comments. Indeed, this matter had lingered on for far too long. And it is the tradition of this House that we have often with ease concluded on same matter. I know the Leader of the House in his other world was a delegate to the ECOWAS Parliament. So the 8th Parliament, I was fortunate to represent the Parliament of Ghana together with the Honorable senior colleague, the Honorable Collins Dauda, the Honorable Muntaka, and co. I can say without any fear of contradiction, the Honorable Collins Dauda is here. Ghana's name is a brand at the Pan-African Parliament. And I'm reliably informed that same happens at the ECOWAS. I am also reliably informed that His Excellency the President was once a delegate to the Pan-African Parliament. So we have chalked good success at the Pan-African Parliament. We have been inundated with calls as to why we have still not represented at the Pan-African Parliament. It's quite regrettable. So we are not to belabor the point. It's gratifying that we are bringing finality to the matter, and it's good for our image. And also, as the leader said, there are possibilities of Ghana being represented at leadership one way or the other, committee level. And it's something that cannot be lost on us. Speaker, I know myself and my colleague, the Chief, will engage you on this same matter. And our call for it to be resolved ASAP in the collective interest of Parliament and also for the image of our country. However, as an internal matter, we raise a concern, and which has lingered on for a long time. So I want to plead, without elucidating further on, saying that we find an appropriate way to deal with this concern as was raised. And I have every confidence in you, Mr. Speaker, that you will be able to deal with this matter in respect of our colleague, the Honorable Patrick Yabuama. So without adding more, I second the motion and I urge the House to support the passage and the adoption of the consequent resolution. I thank you, Speaker.
Honorable members, motion moved and seconded. It's now for the consideration of the House. How many from each side of the House? One from each side of the House, then we can take and move to the next motion. Yes, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity, and also to thank you that you see through and to treat this issue as an urgent matter that must be dealt with this morning. Honourable Speaker, Ghana's role in the continent is very critical. We know Ghana's place as a pace setter for Africa's continental unity and progress. And so it's very unfortunate that it's taking us a little too long for us to send our representatives to the Pan-African Parliament. And so I'm very, very grateful to you and leadership for going past the differences to make sure that we can send a delegation. And I urge the delegation to go and represent Ghana as the Black Star of Africa, as the country that led Sub-Saharan Africa to freedom, and to go and really deal with critical issues that, quite frankly, has been a stumbling block, a hurdle to Africa's development. We have critical issues to deal with. Africa's energy poverty, Africa's infrastructure deficits, the issues of youth and employment cut across our continent. And so we have urgent issues to deal with, issues of health. And I believe that the delegation who is going to Pan-Africa Parliament must understand that they are representing Ghana. Politics will stop at the water's edge when they leave. They are going to carry the flag of Ghana united in the values of Ghana and represent us and make sure that we can move the vision that really drove the founding of this republic, that we can only be free when Africa is economically united. And that is the value that we should go and move. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Deputy Minority Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to also add my voice to the motion before us. Mr. Speaker, as you rightly indicated, the Pan-African Parliament is a very important legislative arm of the African Union, or the Pan-African Parliament is the legislative arm of the African Union. Mr. Speaker, it did not only promote good governance, it also brings dialogue between countries, with its Pan-African countries, with its headquarters in South Africa. Mr. Speaker, what is happening now is an indication as to how cooperation with your involvement that we can always build consensus as a house. Mr. Speaker, I only appeal to you that even though the composition as a majority leader read is okay, but the last part of one member being labeled as an observer, if your good self could turn that to be a member. Mr. Speaker, the members, I have no doubt, from the First Deputy Speaker to the Majority and the Minority Chief Whip, our most experienced Member of Parliament now, the Honourable Collins Dauda, an 8th-time Member of Parliament, our able Minority Whip, the daughter of the former President of the Republic, Dr. Zenota Ajiman-Rollis. They will make us proud. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, when a Dagomba man is mentioning some names, if you understand that it is attributed to you, you can take it. Yesterday, in Tamale part of our speeches, you were there. The former minority leader, the Minister for Education, is called Aduna because the mother couldn't call Haruna.